Hi, thank you for joining me. This is another video dealing with the changing of the season as we're getting ready to go into the autumn of 2020. Now, on this video, I'm going to cover choosing a crystal or several crystals to assist you in moving forward through this season. So this season is autumn or fall, and that is a letting go of things that are no longer needed. That is the time that we're in right now. So since this is a time of letting go, we will employ energies from our environment to assist us in moving forward. This is a process and it's not all done at one time. We do a subtle, gentle release, 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 just a gradual releasing, 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 so that you're not in a rush. Now, what I've done is I've placed several crystals out in front of me. My camera is in such a manner that I have to leave it stationary or it may completely mess up. So I have several crystals out in front of me and I will hold them up for you to see them and to, so that you'll see how I select my crystals. And I do a couple of different things. What you do if you're going to place them out in front of you like I have, get a variety of them. It's not necessarily your favorite crystal. I have a go-to crystal which I use all the time. It doesn't matter what season, what time, I always use it. And it's great at assisting me with doing other things. So if you have a particular crystal that does that for you, that you work with all the time, then you don't actually need to select that crystal because it's automatically selected for you. However, this is selecting other crystals that will assist in that. And each crystal has metaphysical properties, different ones that will help in a variety of areas. So I suggest that you grab hold of one of the books. Um, there's some fabulous books out there, some a little bit more informative than others, and some have a different slant on the metaphysical properties than others do. There's no end all for each thing, but there are certain books that you can just go to and depend on the information because that information resonates with you. You can also pick up information online if you choose, but I just prefer to have the manual with me or a manual to use as a reference, and you can use several different ones if you want. So that's up to you. Pick those out and see what works good for you. Having that manual there is great for just looking up in the middle of the night or what have you, and you don't have to go online or something like that. So what I have here are several different crystals. Each one is different, and each one is used. I've used them at varying degrees throughout the year. And so this is a gorgeous piece right here. Labradorites, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And some of these I remember the names and some I do not, but these have beautiful properties. Most of my crystals have imperfections on them, and that is because I choose to have imperfections on, I choose crystals that have imperfections on them. So, because it feels like I'm able to tap into the crystal more readily than if it's a solid, smooth, really smooth surface. I have to connect with it a different way, should I say. However, if there's an imperfection on the crystal surface itself, like this one, I'm not sure you may be able to see that. There's an imperfection on this crystal here, and I'm able to rub the smooth surface, but I'm also able to tap into it by uh, focusing on this small area, and it will help me get into the stone or the stone's energy, so to speak. This one has a unfinished rough edge on it, so I don't really have to do that. But what I do is I'm able to, this is like raw, and this is like a finished polished surface. I use that as a trigger point here. This imperfection on the smooth side, I generally use that as a trigger point while I'm holding the crystal. So I may handle the crystal just as you see me doing here. I'm touching the crystal, triggering the crystal, mentally speaking to the crystal, letting the crystal know that I want it to wake up and um, join with me for a specific purpose. Um, this one I use at night, and I cannot remember the name of it. I've had it for quite some time, and I can't remember the name of it, but I would do it the same way. It has many, many points on the tip. It has some really smooth sides and edges on here. It's a really hard crystal. There's several different ones, and I just want to show you the crystals so that you can see. I pull up a variety of crystals. I will touch the crystal, move my hand around the surface of the crystal, and a lot of times I'll close my eyes. I don't want to physically um, let the sight, should I say, of the crystal influence my selection of the crystal. That's not what I want to do. I want to kind of silence everything that's going on, thoughts or anything that would be going on in my mind, and any energies that would be moving restlessly around. I want to silence them. So, in doing the closing of the eyes, it will help with that. It assists with that. While I'm touching the crystal and telling the crystal what I want. I'm not selecting the crystal yet. I'm just awakening the crystal because it may be asleep. I tend to tell my crystals to sleep and to rest so that I'm not being bombarded with so many energies at one time. Because crystals will act like children and they like to talk and show you things. And in doing so, you sometimes are caught up in the energies of each crystal, especially if they're all talking at one time. I have 3, 6, 7 here right now. And some of these have crystals on them. For instance, this is a main crystal here, but there's also a smaller crystal. There's a point, there's a smaller crystal here, there's another one here. Some of these crystals have several crystals attached to them, and each crystal has the ability to connect with you. As this one, there are several, and that's not even the word for it. All of these are separate crystals attached to this one large piece. There's several crystals, quite a few crystals on this one. And that means you're connecting with all of those crystals at one time, and you are awakening the crystals. I have these in various sizes and shapes. So the small crystal, if this small crystal is connecting with me, I may not get the larger crystal. But I'll show you what I do. These are ones that I have, and I will just pull out, set them in front of me, and then awaken them by touching and talking to them and telling them what I am needing at the time. And once I do that, then I'll set them down and let them be. They're awake now. Now I'll sit, close my eyes, and let them know I'm now moving into the autumn season. The change of the season is upon us, and at this time I need to release the things that are no longer needed, the things that have fulfilled their purpose and must be released at this time. I'm asking you for your assistance in helping me release the things that are no longer needed and the things that have fulfilled their purpose. Release these things back to divine source. I'm asking whichever crystal would like to step forward and work with me at this time to assist me in releasing and my preparation to go into a restful state to do so now, to step forward and to let me know. Now wait, I'll listen with my physical ear, and I'll look with my spiritual inner eyes to see which crystal steps forward. And the crystal will step forward in a voice or in a picture, sometimes in a movement. And in that instance, you pay attention to what's being said, what's being shown, and keep that in mind. And I'm not quite ready to make my full selection now. So if a crystal steps forward, it will show itself. So what happened was, as I was talking to you, telling you what would happen, what can happen, there was the entire picture plane in front of my eyes shook like this. And then as I continued to talk to you, kept talking, right before I finished talking and opened my eyes, the crystal showed itself, which looked like a bunch of little pegs in this little area. It's a bunch of little pegs sticking up. And now, when I look at these crystals, there's nothing sticking up on this crystal. There's nothing sticking up on this crystal. Nor is there anything sticking up on this crystal. So it was neither of those. I have something sticking up on this crystal, and this crystal has something sticking up on it. There's several crystals around this one. And this crystal, if you look at it, you will notice there are tons of little points that are sticking up. I'm not sure if they're quite visible. There are quite a few peaks that are sticking up on this. So these two crystals have other crystals sticking up. Now, remember my description. I said there were a lot of little things sticking up. These come to a point. The things that I saw did not have a point. So what I saw was really clear, but I'm just letting you know this is the process that you go through when selecting the crystal, when you're trying to see which crystal. Now, if I wasn't sure which crystal it was, I would set these four aside. These crystals that I've deemed it was not them, I would completely remove them. But I'm thanking them as I'm setting them aside because they have served me very well. And now these would be sitting in front of me. And I would again close my eyes and say, thank you. I thank you for stepping forward to assist me in this time of release. Continue to show yourself. Speak a little clearer or show yourself in such a way that I clearly understand who is stepping forward to assist me. And when you do that, something will happen. Now I'm seeing a motion. There's a swirl type of motion that's moving. The crystal will step forward. I know which crystal it was, but I'm explaining this to you. So I saw a motion on the crystal. Now this crystal is solid, standing up. There's no motion here. These crystals are standing. This one is moving off to the side, but there's no swirling motion. These are straight lines, very exact, very precise lines. So it is not this crystal. This crystal has several ones standing up on it, and it also has one over to the side here. You can see that much better that way. However, the crystal still has straight, linear, exact lines on it. There's no swirling motion whatsoever with this crystal. And when I look at this crystal, although you can't see it from this direction, if I turn it this way, the crystal is starting to curve. There's this curving motion going on with this crystal. I saw this crystal plain as day, so I knew which crystal it was because these are the ones I have out here. And these are the ones that I awakened. And so now I've narrowed it down, and it is this crystal. And so with these other crystals, I would move them to the side and thank them for their assistance because they have served me very well. And now I will hold this crystal in my hand and thank this crystal. I thank you for stepping forward to help usher me into this period of time that is coming forth. I thank you for helping me to easily and readily release the things that are no longer needed, for helping me to release the things that have served me well and fulfill their purpose. Helping me to release these things back to divine source. Now, what will happen is I will take this crystal and I will either put it under my pillow, on my pillow, or somewhere near me as I sleep. And that helps the crystal sense my energies and feel my energies at a um, closer, should I say, more my the energies of this crystal will be close to me and assist me, but my energies will envelop the crystal and help the crystal see what's going on with me and really assess the situation, assess what needs to be released in me and with me. Although the crystal is small, the crystal is a way of connecting with divine source and helping to move the things that need to be done or to work with the energies that need to be worked with. So this is autumn, and this is a crystal that I will make sure I connect with once a day, once a week. It will be somewhere near me all the time because it is assisting me all the time in moving the energies. Now, that's one way. Another way is because I have some crystals that are really large and they would take up like half of this table that the computer is sitting on. I would do a similar method of closing my eyes and connecting with the crystals in this space. And when I do that, then I will repeat the same thing, letting the crystals know that I'm moving into this season of releasing the things, and I need the assistance of a crystal that wants to step forward and help me with this process. It's an involved process, and if you get the assistance that you need, it will make it much easier for you. And when you do that, the crystal will again bring something to your ear, a sound, a scent, um, and in your mind's eye, a picture. And so sometimes that's what happens when I need to work. I need some work that I need to do on the self. The crystal will call to me and it will let me know where it's at if I am not consciously aware of exactly where I've placed it. The crystal will let me know I'm here, I'm here. Come to me, come and get me. I am willing to assist you. So hopefully that was of some help to you. We're going through this not alone, but you will be alone if you don't employ the help of others. Crystals are just parts of divine source that are placed here that can assist us with so many different things if you allow them to. It's weird at first, but once you work with them and work with them, you'll see it's really easy. It'll be second nature. Okay, so hopefully that helps you in picking a crystal that will help you through the autumn season. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.